Welcome back, I'm Tedward, and welcome to the 2023 Alfa Romeo Tonale Veloce. This has a 1.3-liter four-cylinder engine up front, a electric motor in the rear, and it is a plug-in hybrid. It packs a total of 180 horsepower. In EV mode, it's rear-wheel drive. That's pretty darn cool. And I think this little Tonale, with its 31 miles of electric range, is going to change the face of PHEVs. Well, all right, maybe not completely, but I think it's so classy and cool looking, and I'm really excited that this has come to market. Because right now, when you're thinking of PHEVs, you're kind of limited to like the RAV4 Prime and the Prius Prime, and this is a cool, stylish little crossover that gets the job done. And over there you can see the Dodge Hornet, which this is based on. So let's take a look around. First of all, I don't know, love it or hate it, I think this is a great stylish little thing. I'm absolutely digging these headlights, and we have Pilot Sport all-season 4s on a 20-inch wheel. 4-piston Brembos up front, looking pretty darn classy. And gluing us to the road here is a 235 section tire up front. And would you look at that, a 235 section in the rear. It's a square setup. You can rotate your tires. We love that. There is your charge port. Of course, no DC fast charging because this is a PHEV. So this is more to charge at home than on the road. And this is, one of those things where on your daily commute, you can probably just get away with using only electric power. Let's see if I can get in the back here. All right, there we go. So our battery starts at about here and comes down the center and then tees out at the back. So you do lose a little bit of storage space under here because your battery and all that good stuff is tucked away in there, but not crazy because you still have all of this space and a ski pass through the middle. Not too common on a crossover to have a ski pass. And back here, oh, look at that. We've got an electrified Alfa logo. Very cool. I like that. Back here in the rear, fairly comfy seats. I think they're a little more upright than I would necessarily prefer, but hey, that'll keep your kids with good posture. Cup holders, armrest, some HVAC controls, and charge ports, all the important things you need in your little crossover. Before we get up front, let's take a look under the hood. On pistons, now that's class, we like that. No hood struts here, and there's your little 1.3-liter engine. Pretty cute, doing its thing. So let's get out there and see how she drives. Up front, we're greeted with a lovely steering wheel, very sporty, and beautiful leather seats with the Alfa Romeo insignia embroidered in the headrest. I'm really digging the layout of this. It's pretty simple. I've got buttons, I've got a screen. Let's start it up right here on the steering wheel. And boom, nothing happens because we're in electric mode right now. Pretty darn cool. I like this design. I think it just got like a proper little setup for this thing. This one comes in at about 47 grand. Telescoping and tilting wheel, and no crazy stuff to get it in gear. It's just a gear lever. I love it. Off we go on pure electric power. Down here, we've got our DNA switch, which is how we control our drive modes. When I hit this blinker stock, the first thing you notice is these giant paddles. I do love giant column-mounted paddles, not wheel-mounted. They do not move, but it's always awkward in these cars because you have windshield wiper and blinker stocks behind them, and that's just one of those interesting things where you're like, ooh, I'm always kind of interacting with two things at once. So we're currently just in rear-wheel drive. When you're on pure electric, you are in a rear-wheel drive vehicle. I think that is just so wonderful. That's a cool thing to do, and I think Polestar caught on to that as well because their full electric Polestar 2 used to be, when it's in its two-wheel drive trim, was front-wheel drive. Now it's a rear-wheel drive vehicle, not a front-wheel drive vehicle. Go into dynamic mode. Our engine jumps to life. So now let's get it off the line. pretty potent for 180 horsepower. I don't think that number really does it justice. This is like a zippy little car. I know zippy doesn't exactly scream speed, but this is okay. You can hear the regen. And these gauges are super old school. I know they're LCD, but like they gave it that like 1960s Alfa vibe. This is kind of neat. There's a lot of throwback little Easter eggs in this car. I think one of the things that helps these cars feel faster is just the fact that you've got an electric motor with torque, with a lot of torque from zero. So, you know, you don't have to rely on a turbo to spool up or revs to climb. You just have torque instantly and you're off. You can just go. It's pretty great. So I'm absolutely in love with the steering wheel. I think this, man, I wish more car companies would go with like thinner, smaller steering wheels. This feels fantastic in the hand. And I just slammed my finger into this big aluminum paddle. So they are a love-hate relationship with these paddles. They feel good in the hand, but again, you know, we're not working with some like outrageous transmission here. So you're not like banging off gears in a 458 Italia with these paddles, despite the fact that they're about the same size. I like that we're regen braking. We get all of our performance indicators over here to say where power is going and where it's coming from. All right, I'm gonna give it a little kick. Yeah, man, it kind of takes off. It's a fun sounding engine too. Fella with his dog. We'll go nice and easy past them. Now the seats are interesting. The center part of the seat comes forward a little bit, so I feel like I'm resting on that. I wish I was further back in the seat. It provides good lumbar support, but then I'm kind of getting sloshed around instead of leaning up against the side bolsters where I should be tucked in. But the driving dynamics are actually quite pleasurable. It's like a nice thing to drive. Turns in pretty directly. There's like no play in the steering wheel. Chassis feels rigid. I gotta say, little Tonale kind of surprising me. Good car. All right, now, we are in EV mode. So the question with EV mode in these PHEVs is like, yeah, sure, you can go 31 miles, but like, how fast can you go? Are you going on the highway in EV mode? And so far, it feels as if that is the case, that I could probably get up to speed. So let's leave it in EV mode. Let's get out onto this road and see what she does. Will it get up to about 60 miles an hour and just hang tight? This is good. That's what you want from your PHEV. Let's do a little acceleration in electric mode here. From 0. Oh, all right, I hit the kick down. That's the key. Don't hit the kick down. All right, try that again. We're not gonna hit the kick down. We gotta go wide open throttle, but not hit the kick down. All right, we did it. So yeah, it's not gonna be like ludicrous fast in EV mode, but like I said, the beauty of this car, the beauty of these PHEVs is that you're gonna be able to do like probably most, if not all, of your daily commute as long as you've charged overnight with that 31 miles. So You don't need to even use any fuel. And that's a beautiful thing, is when you get choices. When you go full electric, you have no choice. You have to get on the grid. You have to be charging. Whereas with these PHEVs, for most driving, you're able to use that, what seems like a small amount of range, it really does most of the work for you. I also really like the sounds it makes. I kind of dig all like the regen electric sounds and things like that. This is all right. I think people would be pretty happy driving this around. And I think Alfa Romeo has this unique position in being kind of a cool, classy, sporty brand that isn't just a Toyota. No offense to other brands. I'm just saying, like, that's not what everybody wants to drive. Some people want a little bit of style in their life, and this gives them that. I think it really makes the most of this powertrain. It makes a lot of sense to me. There's things I would change. I think these seats, I would change a little bit of the design just to be a little further back so I'm getting more side bolster action out of it. You know, some of these materials aren't outrageously beautiful, but I think the car really does what it set out to do. And it's really cool to have a plug-in hybrid that's kind of nice to look at. Let me get my credentials so I can get back into Road America here. So 20-inch wheels, they might be just like a touch overkill. You might be able to get a more supple ride out of this if you were to go to a smaller wheel with a little more sidewall and a tire. Fine, but I think people want to feel like they're in something sporty, and I'm gonna go back into EV mode because that is the beauty of a PHEV. Thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Go check out the Tonale. This might be the one. This might be it for you. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one.